What's up? I'm John Weeks, and this is the Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, Joe Biden calls for a ban on AI voice clones. First though, imagine driving your car when suddenly it develops a mind of its own, speeds up to 90 miles per hour on the motorway, then fails to respond when you hit the brake. That's exactly what happened to 31-year-old EV driver Nathan Owen this week, who's been retelling his story. He told the Mail Online that on Wednesday, his Jaguar I-Pace malfunctioned. The dashboard showed that there was a battery problem, and the car started speeding up to the high 90s. His brakes then weren't working, so he called 999 and was effectively escorted by a police convoy in front, behind, and alongside him on the motorway. After 35 minutes, the car eventually stopped when it ran out of juice. And it appears he's not the only one to experience this. The first ever Big Brother winner, Craig Phillips, also told the Mail Online the brakes failed in his I-Pace back in 2020 as he approached a red light. The Standard has contacted Jaguar Land Rover about Nathan's incident. The company is currently looking into the details. Now, in our mission to one day send people to Mars, a key requirement is to work out where ice water might be available on the planet. And the UK's Open University has been given funding to work out just that.
We need to find ice, water ice, to sustain humans on Mars. It is super expensive to send water from Earth to Mars, and we believe there is a lot of ice on Mars, but it's beneath the surface, and they could be up to 10 meters below the surface.
Dr. Konstantin Stefanov, Senior Research Fellow at the OU, is leading the work to develop a new imaging instrument as part of the International Mars Ice Mapper mission. It'll use infrared to distinguish between ice water and frozen carbon dioxide, and Konstantin told us just how valuable that ice water would be.
If it's extracted, it will provide oxygen for breathing, it will provide hydrogen and oxygen for rocket fuel, and it is an extremely valuable resource.
He told us any actual human Mars mission won't happen until around the 2040s or 50s. For most of us, our closest frame of reference for life on Mars comes from the Matt Damon movie, The Martian, where he lived off potatoes. Konstantin told us it won't look exactly like that.
It's not going to be in a tent with some plastic sheeting as in the film, because Mars's atmosphere is essentially vacuum. The building has to be much more robust than that, but I believe it's perfectly possible, and probably it will be an essential part of any mission to Mars to grow our own food there.
Joe Biden is calling for a ban on AI voice impersonation. In a State of the Union address last night, he said the US should harness the promise of AI and protect us from its peril, and ban AI voice impersonation and more. It's after robocalls were made to voters in New Hampshire using an AI voice clone of the president, trying to persuade them not to vote, causing the FCC to issue a ban on such calls. AI cloning is an issue the entertainment industry is also dealing with, following the creation of fake Drake songs and the SAG-AFTRA strikes over the use of AI-cloned talent. Sticking with artificial intelligence, Generative AI, the tech that helps you create anything from pictures to music to videos, could be a real threat when it comes to climate disinformation. That's according to a report which claims it could supercharge disinformation through things like deep fakes of politicians. The Climate Action Against Disinformation Coalition says Gen AI will allow climate deniers to more easily, cheaply, and rapidly develop persuasive false content and spread it across social media, targeting advertising and search engines. And they gave recent examples of this exact thing, highlighting campaigns like wind power being falsely blamed as a cause of whale deaths in New Jersey and power outages in Texas. Coming up, concerns about mass die-offs of farmed salmon, plus an expert reveals how to understand your dog. Welcome back. A report suggests salmon farms around the world are seeing mass die-offs of the fish. Researchers in Canada say these mass mortality events are being caused by lower oxygen levels in the water as a result of rising temperatures, as well as diseases, sea lice, water quality problems, and harmful algae blooms. They said these large-scale deaths are normally caused by a combination of natural events and human decisions around production, including overuse of antibiotics and antiparasitics. The report warns that the consequences of these mass die-offs can also have significant impacts to the surrounding environment and the people working at the salmon farms. Now, it turns out you're 6 times more likely to become obese at middle age if both of your parents are. That's what a new study by the European Congress on Obesity in Italy suggests. Researchers said analysis of height and weight data showed a strong link between parents' body mass index in middle age, between 40 and 59 years old, and that of their children at the same age. They said it was down to several factors, including genes, as well as the habits we pick up from our parents when it comes to food and exercise. And finally, ever wanted to know what your dog was trying to tell you? Well, an expert has revealed what our pet pooches may be trying to say when barking, whining, growling, howling, sighing, and groaning. Harmony Dyers from Texas A&M University said it's all context dependent. For example, she said when it comes to barking, dogs may make a higher pitched bark for excitement, a repetitive and monotone bark for boredom, or a short, quick one directed at another dog as a way to say, "Stop it." Harmony also said dogs will use a sigh or a groan in much the same way a human does when they're settling down to rest or being petted, or as a sign of disappointment when it's not mealtime yet, or they're not getting to go for a walk when they want to. Tail wagging can also mean different things. A 2007 study showed that dogs wag their tails to the right in response to positive things, like seeing their owner, and to the left in response to negative things, like seeing a dominant, unfamiliar dog. You're up to date. We're back on Monday afternoon at 1. See you then.